Heyo, welcome back to the 5Borrachos show. I'm your host, Aaron, and my faithful compadres.
Hey, it's your buddy Mike.
Gabe.
All right, we have two very special guests on the show today, Earl and Sev from Earlybird's Bottle Shop.
How's everybody doing?
Out of Pocosin, Virginia.
Welcome, fellas.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks
so much for being on the show. We're really happy to have you guys on. They have been voted #1 craft beer store in the area multiple times.
Yeah, 2 years
Something
now.
like that.
Twice, yeah.
There you
twice.
go.
Yeah.
So third year now.
They have everything from beer, wine, sours, seltzers, ciders, hot sauces,
Seasonings.
salsas. I mean,
Growler fill station.
Growler.
their
Yeah.
shelves are loaded. So we are happy to have them on. Are you guys ready to share some beer with us?
Yeah, heck yeah, man.
Let's do it.
Love doing it.
I think we've been trying to get them to come over for like a couple of years now, and it only took a show to get them over here.
Start a podcast again to come drink beers with us.
Whatever it takes.
No, but in all seriousness, we're happy you guys are here. Appreciate it. We have 5 people, 5 beers, and 5 questions coming your way. So with no delay, let's get started. Sev, what do you got over there in your glass? What are you sipping on?
All right, what I'm sipping on now, I'm starting with a Hot Butcher beer. If you're not familiar with Hot Butcher, they're out of Chicago, Illinois. One of the better IPA producers in the States, in my opinion, right now. This one's 100% Citra.
Heck yeah.
You were talking about how it's kind of hard to beat when done right. Just a good hop with a lot of flavor, and really enjoying this one. Highly recommend it.
Hell yeah. Earl, what you got over there?
I got a special one. This right here is a collab that we did with the local brewery, Coastal Fermentory. #1 seller in the shop. So it's a Vienna style lager, right at 6%. Has about 30 IBUs in it. Really good malt profile. #1 seller, can't go wrong. Only place you can get it is us and the brewery. So they sell a lot of it at the brewery. We sell a lot at our shop. We have had it in a few restaurants here and there, so you might see it out and about. But yeah, the Big Woods, the Vienna lager from Earlybird's Bottle Shop and Coastal Fermentory.
Mike, what you sipping on?
So I've got one out of Toppling, Goliath, right?
Iowa.
So, right. So Sosa's coming out of state, double IPA, mosaic hops. Yeah, really just a great beer. So, and oddly enough, presented to us by the guys at Earlybird. So.
Yeah. I'm sipping on Climbing Towers, which is actually a collab brew between our local brewery here, Oozlefinch Beers and Blending, and Vitamin C, 8.2%, 8.5 double hazy IPA. So pretty solid brew.
Yeah, I'm glad
Nice.
to see them. Yeah, collabing with Vitamin C. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I brought another freak folk onto the show. Man, I cannot get enough of them. Whatever. You can get annoyed with me talking about them, but they're super good.
It's a great brewery.
Yeah, out of
It really
Vermont.
is, yeah.
It's a single New England IPA. It's called Play Dead, all Citra as well. So just loving sipping on this throughout the show.
I think a lot of it's because you discovered that beer. None of us had heard of it before.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm gonna ride this
I'm
one.
just gonna keep
I'm
going.
ride it.
Flexing a little bit.
I mean, I've had a couple of them,
Yeah.
but you found it kind of seemed to hit the honeypot
Yeah.
of getting all the right ones.
Yeah.
Right. So
Well, you
I
got to
think
buy
that's-
all of them to find them.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
All right, let's get started. We got a lot to do. We got 5 beers. So real quick, here's a look at the banger board. Again, just as a reminder, we are filling the board up with shared beers that the 5Borrachos are having on the show, but also off the show. So we started to do that as well. So this should start to fill up rather quickly. We'll give you another look at it after the episode as well with the updated beers. All right, so let's get started. Who we got first?
I think it's me.
Sev. Yeah, let's go ahead and crack that brew.
All right. So we got Heady Topper.
Heck yeah.
You just can't go wrong. Unfortunately, this is a beer that's not distributed in Virginia. However, it pays to know people. So we got some Heady Topper over here from the Alchemist. This beer's been brewed since 2003, so this beer is old enough to drink itself.
For real.
Just really great. It's always nice to come across the Alchemist, and I will pass it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So
Share this.
So I will say it's nice to be able to bring this one onto the show, right? Because this is a very, very popular beer, right? A lot of people have had it, right? Very highly rated. Too.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
I think it's got a 4.52 with like 280,000 something check-ins.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
On the main database.
And it's one of those beers too. You pretty much almost have to go to the site to get it. I mean, there's some places you can get it outside.
Yeah, outside of Vermont, it's tough.
It's really hard to get.
Yep.
So luckily, we have some good friends that made a visit up there and was able to bring us back a few cans, and excited to drink it.
All right, first question before. Just kidding. Let's dig in real quick.
Cheers, y'all.
Cheers, y'all.
Hey, cheers. Cheers.
Ooh, yeah, there it is.
I think this was pretty fresh too. This is canned on the 13th of the month, so this is pretty
Very
fresh
fresh.
can.
Very fresh. Yeah, that's good.
It tastes great.
Yeah.
All right, question for y'all. What made you bring craft beer to Pocosin?
Couple reasons. For one, we got tired of driving way out of our way to find a good selection of craft beer.
For sure.
I think we were beer nerds before we realized we were beer nerds because we were trying to find what we haven't had before, the next variety pack. We got tired of going to the grocery store and finding the same old thing, and we started going out and about. And
Back when we first started drinking craft beers, I mean, you go to the grocery store, at least here in Virginia, you can get like a Star Hill variety pack, an O'Connor's variety pack,
Stone here or
Dogfish,
there.
Stone.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with any of those breweries, but we wanted to get some more off the wall stuff, and
we started driving to further out of the way to Richmond or the South Side to find unique product. And we're both born and raised in Pocosin as well. When we talked about starting a business for a long time, and I just don't think we wanted to really branch too far from our hometown. We really wanted to bring something unique to where we were both born and bred.
Yeah.
And being from a small town that's mostly a light beer drinking town, really.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Coors Light,
Miller
Light, Bud Light.
Miller
Busch
Latte
Light is a big one.
We bring in the Gansets to appease that crowd
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
our, that's kind of what we bring in differently that no one else has. At least in our area, and we bring the 30 racks in of those. And
But I think we've been able to bring a lot of people from outside of town and even change some beer drinkers in town to really start appreciating.
And I can
of
honestly
these.
see, I mean, I know Mike and Aaron can see it too. We've been to a couple of your guys' beer shares that you guys events have had, and you
Sure.
you guys are turning Pocosin into a Pinkies Up
some
beer
beer
town.
snobs,
man.
yeah.
It's pretty nice.
people are spreading their wings a little bit now. That's what we wanted to happen.
Yeah.
So the thing that blew my mind, like when I first got here, I was having to go to Total Wine, right? A lot of people go to Total Wine. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But it's kind of corporate, whatever, and they have whatever, right? You guys were in business, tucked away in Pocosin, and I think you guys were in business for like 10 months before I found you, and that's my own fault because I wasn't really opening the aperture to try to get out,
I
right?
understand.
And then as soon as I did, I was like, hold on. Like, all of a sudden, I'm getting all these different beers from everywhere in varieties, right? And it was wonderful. You had great breweries that were represented, all this kind of stuff. And then, oh, by the way, my wife likes wine. And so now, it's a one-stop shop. We go for good beers.
Yeah.
She picks up some wines,
Absolutely, sure.
It's
And don't get me wrong, before we open up the shop, man, I could spend an hour in Total Wine and just look at every shelf, and honestly, you had to look pretty hard to find something spectacular. No offense to Total Wine. I think, it was a great thing before we opened up the shop, be able to get some of these beers that you couldn't get elsewhere. But, I do feel like you can spend a lot of time in there, and then you don't really get the personalized service when it comes to, finding what's good. We know what's good. We know when you come into the shop. We actually know probably about 90% of what our customers are coming in. We know what they're going to get before they even get
The thing about Total Wine, like I got it. They have a little blurb on there that tells you about the beer, where it's from, flavor characteristics, all that kind of good stuff, right? But it's still kind of random. Like you're just picking beers based upon marketing, right?
It's beer roulette.
Yeah,
Very much so. Yeah.
But here, I think there's a great opportunity for you guys to, really tell everybody, here's this beer, it's from this place, this profile.
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely. You can tell when someone might not want the whole spiel every time they come in, but we like to show people, hey, this is where we have it. This is what we've moved around. This style's here. This style's there. This is the latest and greatest. If you've never had this, So we really kind of like to give you a little tour when you come in and kind of showcase you what's the latest and greatest. I mean, that's kind of what we've kind of set ourselves apart.
And I think one of the things that, really hit with me is because I was one of the guys driving up to Richmond to Corks and Kegs or whatever
Absolutely.
when, just stocking up. And then when I found out you guys opened, I was like, went in, I was like with a little bit of expectation, like, hey, they might not have. Then I walked in and you guys had bangers all over the shelves, right?
love
And,
I
it,
was
and
like,
it moves. It goes quick.
yeah.
Right.
And,
So
yeah.
so when those beers hit, like, I mean, it's moving right off the
Our,
shelf.
our social media crowd's pretty on top of it right now. Like, if we post something and it's something that's sought after, come in sooner than later because it's gonna fly.
Oh yeah,
out,
as soon as
you know?
as soon as we got you guys on Facebook, we got them on all the social medias, and as soon as they freaking advertise something, we're screeching out the driveway trying to get to Picosin.
Yeah.
Get it
Yeah.
before everybody else gets.
All right, so let's do a rating. All right, so we got the heady topper starting us off. I'll start. I'm gonna give this a 4.25 for me. So I think this is around the range where for at least an American style IPA type thing. I think that's where I'm coming in at. Earl, what do you got?
You know what? I think if we would have drank it out of the can,
As advertised, yeah.
The can does say drink it out of the
We
can.
broke the rules.
it might have been up, a little bit higher. But no, great beer. I think the respect aspect of the brewery and how long they've been doing it for gives it an extra 0.25 for me. It's just such a great beer. I've had it 3 or 4 times. I've never rated it. That's one thing. I don't like to rate stuff just because me owning a beer store.
Mhm.
I don't want to sway to anybody one way or another. Sometimes I will give something a 5 just to, hey, come in and buy this beer. You got to come get it.
Big
Or
words.
he's hammered.
Or I'm hammered. Yeah, one of the two.
Yeah.
But I would give this beer a solid 4 or 5 on my list for sure.
All right.
Yeah, I like that spiel. To me, it's a perfect hot bite with 100 IBUs, but still drinks nice and smooth. I'd probably go. Do y'all go by the quarter rating scale?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Today I'm going to give it a 4.25. I think that's where it sat with me
Yep.
today. Great beer. I know why it's popular. Loved it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Mike?
So I agree. So it's a great beer. It's a little bit more, and I do like me some Americans, right? But I like the American bite to it. So I'm going 4.5.
Yeah, I'm going 4.5 as well. I mean, that's really, Heady Topper is the beer that really changed the beer game when it comes to hazy IPAs. So, yeah, 4.5 for me all day long. Love the bite.
All right. Great mix. I love it. Mike, you're next. What do we got?
All right, so we're bringing a new brewery to the mix today, and this is Coagula from Brewhouse, right? So it's a collab here that they did with Grains of Wrath, right? So this is a triple dry hop West Coast IPA. So super excited about this one. Like you talk about, friends in the right places, right?
Right.
So just to be able to bring this to the table today is a big thing for me. I know that I'm not always the biggest of a triple IPA kind, or I'm sorry, West Coast IPA kind of guy. But the right one can go a long way. So
I think you're appeasing Earl right now.
Yeah.
yeah, I know that Earl's a big Westy guy.
Mike shit on me a few
Pumpkin-
times
I
from
mean,
West Coast,
We
right?
couldn't find
that's
any
right.
pumpkins, so Earl was.
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
sure Earl's really disappointed.
Pumpkin IPAs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Don't put a pumpkin beer near.
I'm
near
not a
Earl.
big pumpkin beer fan
Yeah.
for sure.
Weird.
Liars.
So yeah, so as soon as we get
All right. Let's take our
Sever
first.
here, so
Something
yeah.
finishing this
All right, cheers,
off,
y'all.
right?
Right,
Yep. Go for it.
nice and clear and bright.
That's what I
Cheers,
like to
boys.
see.
Cheers.
That nose is amazing. Holy cow!
Mm.
Dude, that's smooth.
Wow. So just talk about a West Coast done right.
Yeah.
So
That bite at the end.
let's go ahead and start here with Earl because Earl's a big Westy guy.
If I had to drink one style of beer for the rest of my life, it probably would be West Coast IPA.
Good for you.
Don't get me wrong, I love New England style IPAs. I love hazy IPAs. I'm an IPA drinker through and through. But what brings me back to when I first started loving craft beer was West Coast IPA. So this have a special spot in my heart. This is a great beer.
Yeah, great. Doesn't drink like 10%, that's for sure. 10.3% at that.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you.
If I had, Brujos is one of those breweries we don't get distributed as well. If I had $1 for every
So-
time someone asked us, I'd probably say that you ought to have at least
I was,
$7 or $8. You
I
know,
was
what are you
very-
going to bring in Brewhouse?
very
So,
fortunate that my guy was able to swing by and
Right?
and
Yeah, heck
deliver
yeah,
on
man.
this, so-
Connections are important.
All right, so let's quickly ask a question here. We'll get back to the ratings. All right, what was the hardest obstacle to overcome when you started the bottle
Wow.
shop?
Yeah, I would have to say the hardest obstacle, was deciding to go ahead and just go with it,
Just
to do it.
Yeah.
We both
Jump
left, really good careers to start something that we had no clue what was going to happen. We had no clue if it was going to take off, especially the small town that we're in. Luckily we had a good group of people support us before we even started this thing. Once we started mentioning it, we had a lot of group people backing us 100%, really wanting us to do this. The hardest thing, I think, that would have to be the situation, just the unknown, what could happen.
It was 2021, so it was like right kind of at the height of COVID.
Wow.
And we were both just getting run ragged in what the jobs we were working at the time. And we talked about this for years, and we got to the point where like, hey man, like, I remember my dad telling me no risk, no reward. And I was like, we looked at each other, we're like, let's do it.
So then you guys had really good family support out of it, or like?
I think just backing support between our wives and our parents, and just being like, hey, like y'all are at the age where y'all obviously are passionate about this, and if you want to try it, now's the time to give it a shot.
Another thing, I mean, I graduated with like a management degree, but with a focus on entrepreneurship. So that was one thing where I was just like, if I don't do this now, when will I ever get to do it?
Yeah. How was the community?
Community, I mean, Bokosum was great to us, but also, it was at a time where they were seeking businesses because, not many businesses were opening up in the middle of COVID. Not many,
a lot were shutting down.
Shutting down. So.
And you guys got a great spot. So you're really fortunate to get that location, right?
Love the location. It's funny. We like going back to the Bokosum thing and being born and raised there. We thought about going out of town, but we never really ever looked out of town. We looked at a few spots in Bokosum, and when we walked into this place, it was an old barber shop. This barber shop had been there for 20 years. We both used to get our haircuts there, and then just the natural aesthetics of the building and it being open since like a building since like the 40s. At one point in time, it was a cigar lounge in like the 60s. It had some cool history when we talked to the people at the city, and we're like, you know what, the price was right. We knew we had to do some work to it. I don't think,
honestly, it would have worked as well in a place that didn't have the natural aesthetics as it has.
Yes.
I was going to say,
the feel.
When you look at that location, right? Could you imagine it in, a different area of the city, right?
Yeah.
I think
that the perfect thing about that shop is it's kind of, you guys kind of got like that old school speakeasy type vibe to it. It looks like,
rustic
kind
looking,
of back room, kind of storage room with a bunch of badass freezers, beer coolers or whatever. So I think it's,
if we went to the place and it looked like we had a bunch of great beers, but it looked like a 7-Eleven storefront.
Right.
I don't think it would have been as successful as it has been.
Right. Yeah, so, we've been into some of those.
Yeah.
I mean, that's okay. I mean,
No, I think
but it helps.
I think it really like small town Bokosum, small town vibes coming from the shop.
That you kind of can see
really,
like in a big city somewhere, like a quaint little like spot like that. It looks like something you'd find maybe in Richmond or Williamsburg or something like. It kind of gets that feel to it a little bit.
Right.
In a way.
I mean, I think I like it. The most thing that I like about it is it fits the surrounding area. Like it's got
Absolutely.
that, it's got that small town vibe. You guys,
for sure.
And then you look at the beers on the shelf, like, holy shit, these guys have got these freaking beers on the shelf.
That place sits. I mean, it's literally on the corner of Main Street in the community.
Yeah.
Like, you go out one door, that's the main drag, right? You go out the other door, well, that's where that's where the community is.
There's only
like.
Couple ways in and a couple ways out. We're
like, how did you find this place? We're like,
everyone's trapped.
Many to choose from. We didn't want to go far, and it kind of just fell in our lap because of COVID, the barber shop did close, and we knew that happened, and we're like, hey, let's see what this family's asking for, rent and all that fun stuff, and it worked out. We love it.
It has a nice little outdoor space. We had a lot of great events there. I know you all attended.
Yeah,
almost all of them.
All of them. Yeah. So pretty close. Yeah.
All right, rating time. Mike, you're up first.
Not a huge Westie guy, except for very special occasions, right? So I'm favorable for several Westies. 4.75.
4.75.
4.75. Bringing the heat.
So
okay.
So
no,
triple
really good. Yeah.
Triple does not taste like 10%. Yeah. It's got great flavor. Yeah, I mean, go ahead. Yeah.
Gabe, what do you got?
I think 4.75 too. I mean, I was going 4.5, and then Mike brought up the 10%, and it just kind of like, whoa, I mean, that Westie, most Westies of that alcohol, ABV, you're gonna feel some heat from it. This
Yep.
one you do not, and it's not like what Earl likes, with chewing on pine cones. So it's not that doesn't have that
Yeah.
bite to
Yeah,
the
That's what I was
the
gonna
beer.
say.
But yeah, I mean,
It-
I it's fantastic.
Did you try chewing on it?
Just swish it around a
Chew
little.
on it a little bit.
No, it's got like this flavor to it that is not just straight West
Yeah.
Coast. It's like there's some orange zest in there. Like
Yep.
it has enough flavor.
For sure.
For me, I'd say a 4 or 5. Or what do you got?
I'm right there with you, man. I would have to say, 4 or 5. I think this right here is a great beer, and I give it a 4 or 5.
Yeah, I could drink one of those every day and be happy. That's just a good beer. 4 or 5 for sure. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
right.
All around. That's good. Good. All right. I'm next. So, all right. Bring it on. It's going to be a good one. All right. So this is Other Half triple dry hop, triple IPA. This is their 10th anniversary collab. So they just finished off with their 11th anniversary. But they did an amped week, which all the amped beers they had used previous anniversary collab beers, and they just upped it up a notch. So the triple dry hopped is this version. I'm very excited, and I'm just gonna state this. A year ago, Mike said probably the best triple IPA ever made.
So I'm super excited about this,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, for
So last year when Other Half had all their events, and I know we talked about it before, right?
10th anniversary
Yeah.
events. Yeah.
This was one of the best beers that we had ever had.
Yeah.
When Aaron scored this, and then he said he was going to bring it to the table.
Yeah.
Super excited, right? Because if you look at the collaborations,
Yeah, I'm
on
going to
this
list
one,
them off here. Monkish, Trillium, Cellar Maker, Side Project, which is from London, The Veil, Cloudwater, and Garage Project, which is from New Zealand.
Yep.
Dude,
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah,
Nuts.
the
It's
who's
nuts.
who of hazies, really. I mean, when you get to that Trillium, that Trillium, and Other Half, Monkish, The Veil, like you
Yeah.
can't. I mean,
Sorry, I might have took a little extra.
thanks,
Said,
Earl.
Damn, Earl.
I said, damn, dude.
Look,
Save some for the rest of
Pour
us.
some in yours if you
I'm just
like.
kidding. I got more. I'm just kidding. I got more.
No,
Sorry,
it's all-
Aaron,
it's-
you're not going to get any more sips.
No,
out of
hey,
that.
that's all good. That's all good. All right, third question for y'all.
Cheers, y'all.
cheers, y'all.
Hey,
Yeah,
cheers.
cheers. This one. This is going to be heat.
Third question was not prepped. We're gonna punt this to my boy Mike for his question.
So, so the house is under renovations, of course, right?
Mhm.
And the guy doing it is a close friend,
Yeah.
and you've known him for a long time now. So let's back this up a little bit, right? So these guys have known each other since grade school, right? And so when you're in grade school and you have a substitute teacher, what do? You mess around a little bit, right? So what did they do? So where we're going to is let's talk about the name Earl. Because one of us in the room goes by Earl, but is not known as Earl.
Weird. An alias, if you will.
Super weird.
So I'm going to open the bag here a little bit, right? So
All
you
right.
guys were messing around in grade school. You had a substitute teacher, and someone was like, "What name do you like to go by?" And
Yeah.
please correct me if I'm wrong. But someone
On the
says,
spot.
"What name do you like to go by?" And someone said Earl, and it has stuck. So
That's one of the many stories of where the legend of Earl comes
the
from.
legend of the legend of Earl, I love it.
No,
I might even be better at answering this question. We were probably in middle school, and like you said, me and Earl were in the same kindergarten class. We go way back. He was
Yeah.
Josh then, until about middle school.
Josh is my first name.
He
Earl's
still,
my middle
his
name.
wife still calls him Josh. His immediate
Of course.
family still calls
Sure.
him Josh, but all his initial friends call him Earl. I would say it's part of like Little League football, part of just being in middle school. Once you find out someone's name is Earl, and we were like, hey, you're kind of more of an Earl than a Josh, and most people agreed. Earl just stuck, and then eventually he
100%.
started telling some teachers and other people he was going by Earl. So
When I first started, I used to say Josh is my name, or Earl is my game. No,
He's not
yeah,
lying.
baby.
no, I'm not lying. No, Earl was kind of
That's
always stuck. He always fit.
I feel like you're more of an Earl.
And,
I mean,
yeah.
when Mike told me that, I was like, You got to be shitting me, dude.
Right.
Like there ain't no way. Like
You
that
see
dude's
what we
that
saw,
dude.
right?
I mean,
So and it's funny because you talk about like how close and small town and tight knit
Yeah, yeah.
and all this kind of good stuff, right? And so it, when my guy says, "Hey man, do you know how you got that name?" Please.
Tell me.
Right. It's because I want
I think it's just mostly once they found out, my middle name was Earl. It's kind of like, hey, you're Earl from now on.
Yeah,
That's
that's
pretty
it.
much
And
it.
it's
You know?
stuck.
So you guys
it's
have been friends since kindergarten.
kindergarten. Yeah.
You've been close friends the entire time.
Yeah,
Whole
never
lot.
once have we not been. There's one picture of on our Instagram that I dug up somewhere that I posted. We were probably in like 7th grade, and we were sitting at the desktop computer at his mom's house. And I
So if you
posted
walk
it.
into the
computer.
shop, it looks very similar. If you walk into the shop any day of the week, where he's on the computer and I'm sitting next to him on
Yeah.
the other side computer,
It's,
same picture, but
I
from
said, I
one
said
of those
something along,
then and
years
now
ago.
type things. It looks exactly the
Absolutely.
same.
Wow,
Just
I said something along the
Well,
lines then of like, were we coming up with the idea of Earlybirds then? Like, who's to tell? You never know.
hey, there's not
know.
many friends I could work with on a day-to-day basis. So, me and him being best friends for a long time, usually you don't really mix friendship and business or,
Mhm.
our family and
We're
business.
very
but,
like-minded.
yeah. So
That's
pretty much,
good.
when I think something, he's pretty much already has the same thought in mind or vice versa.
Yeah, we agree. I think we agree on 99% of everything.
I think that's very fortunate, right?
Yeah, yeah,
so it's,
for
it's,
sure.
hard, it's hard to come by that like this day and age, and with everybody moving and changing jobs and all that kind of good stuff,
Yeah.
right? Like, the fact that you guys have had that, I think that's really super cool.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah, we have a couple
Appreciate
buddies that come into the shop like, don't you ever get sick of each other? Just like, we're like, nah.
Really? The wives say the same thing. Like, don't y'all spend enough? What we do is we leave the shop and we go to his house and drink beer. And they're like, do y'all get sick of each other? Like, not really. I mean,
Right. Yeah. So back to the ratings. All right. I'll start it off. So best triple I've ever had, probably not, but 4.75 for me.
375.
4.75.
Inside joke. I was doing Untapped for the 5Borrachos
yeah.
thing and really screwed up. I put everything at 375, and Aaron's like, "You need to change that 3 to a 4, dude." And I was like, "Oh, my bad."
I will say, so a year ago, I don't think a whole bunch of breweries were doing triples. But a year later, I feel like a
So-
lot of these big guys are just
So we
pumping
were-
out triples.
we were
Yeah.
just talking about that, right?
Yeah.
So like I feel like triples is like a seasonal thing, right? They kind of hit like in wintertime, whatever, right?
Mhm.
But it feels like there's triples everywhere, and it's like they're sprouting up,
Yeah, and
and they're amazing.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
the problem with that though is, and me and Aaron have talked, and Mike have talked about this at length, is once you have a double and triple, and you're having doubles and triples and doubles and triples, and you have a really good just single, you're like, yo, what is this? This tastes like
Yeah,
Well,
So
there's
Bud
only certain
lattes.
brewers that can do triples right, in my opinion.
I agree. Yeah.
If you do it right, it could be the best beer you ever had.
Right.
No lie. Triple IPAs,
So a triple
it's
beer
really
that
hard
comes
to
through,
master.
it comes through smooth with great flavors, a great nose,
No alcohol bite.
like
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
I'm
want
like
that
come
bite.
in, or it comes through boozy.
yeah.
Some
Yeah.
boozies are good because maybe you
Mhm.
want to have
You
that
don't want
boozy
that
flavor,
burn, yeah.
and that's okay.
Yeah.
But I think, like Gabe says, the single IPA is the loser in the mix,
Unfortunately.
right?
Yeah.
So, kind of getting back to where Aaron was out there, right? So, like I said, like it had been the best triple I'd had at the time.
I know. A year ago,
Um,
yeah.
It's not there now.
Yep.
It's still super delicious. I don't know what I rate it. Maybe I
Alright.
give it a 5, but
We'll go with the Earl. What do you got?
This one just didn't hit me like the Westies that
Okay.
Westie just did.
so shocked.
I would say 4.25. Great beer.
Sev, what you got? Finish that.
It's damn good. Super smooth. One of the better triples I've had in the last 6 months. 4.5. Just great.
Okay.
Absolutely great.
Yeah, so I think my triple IPA game knowledge has changed a little bit. So I think I'm down to 4.5.
Yeah, I think 4.5 is perfect. I mean, it's very, what was the alcohol by volume? Drinking 10.2, like you can drink. I
It's-
feel like that thing could be dangerous on a
yeah,
summer day.
very.
'Cause
Yeah, so
you
sneaky,
could be
right?
you could
Yeah.
be pounding those, and next thing you know, you go to stand up at a
Yeah.
picnic, and you're making a fool of your family.
Yeah,
So,
and you're on the moon.
Well,
but I
we
think
all had this beer last year too, right?
Yeah.
we all had it.
Yeah.
It was great last year. This year, you said what do they do differently to it?
Triple dry hopped. So
Last year, what was it?
It was just regular dry.
Yeah, and I can taste the
hopped.
flavor profile differently because
Mhm.
there's a little bit more bite
Yep.
to it this
Yep.
year than what there was
A little
last
drier,
year.
yeah.
A little bit, just a little
so-
bit, but not much.
Big fan of the dry hop process, right? So double dry hop, triple dry hop. I think it adds character to the beer,
For
Mhm.
sure.
but overall, I think the triple IPA game has changed.
Yeah.
Right. And so like that's an amazing beer.
I think the IPA game as a whole has changed
Right.
over the last
Right. So
3 or 4 years. I mean, it's just
and we talked about this before.
All the
You
time.
open your
All the time.
beer, and you're pouring out a 4.5 IPA. Like no one is shedding a tear.
I mean, granted, the heady topper that we
That's
had
a
to
great
start
beer.
with, like I wouldn't have rated it a 4 or 5 or 4.75 if it I didn't have so much respect for what they've done for the craft beer industry. There's so many breweries out there that
Yeah.
could just make great
Yeah.
IPAs.
All right.
I'm with you.
All right, let's get to the next one. Gabe, you are up next. What do we got? Out of
All
your
right,
corner?
so another new brewery to the banger board, hopefully. So had a friend hook a brother up from got some Baba Brew House. This one is a lamb in a jam key lime pot.
Mm.
So
Ooh.
say that 5
Sounds
times
great.
fast. But should be really good. I think it was a 4.31. I think on Untapped. I've had a lot of Baba
Dang.
brews.
Key lime.
Damn.
Did you
look at that
roll it?
color.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, last week we found out when you don't roll sours.
I don't think that actually. You might want to look
I
on the
think
side of
it's
the
a little. It's a little light.
I don't
but yeah.
think. I don't think
Seems-
it's a
it's not a
sour,
smoothie,
smoothie
right?
sour. I
Yeah,
think it's a sour ale. I might have said that wrong.
Yeah, sour ale or fruited sour.
Yeah.
Just
Sour
Sometimes that
ale,
roll
just a
on a
sour
flat
ale,
surface
so-
will
Yeah.
just kind and
All right.
mix
Yeah,
the
last
contents
show I
together.
dogged Aaron, so he's getting
I
revenge.
know. I messed it up. All
He
right.
Mike's
had
gonna
an
get all the
ill will
thickness.
smoothie.
All right.
This is
Question.
a glub.
Question number 4. All right, here we go. This is a two-parter. How do you select the beer that you put on the shelves, right? And what advice would you give to other bottle shops who have to deal with distributors?
I'll tell you.
You can answer the first part of that
All right.
question.
All right. So I'm
answer
going
the
to interrupt, right? But like we just discussed,
Oh,
yeah.
so let's all bag
Yeah.
on Gabe.
No, you're right.
Let's do this.
Yeah, let's all
Because I
bag
got-
on Gabe for the swirl because
I told
Aaron,
you.
give me
Should've done
yours.
that flat
because
roll.
Hey, who called it?
mine
Earl
is
called it.
here.
My bad.
Throwing on that.
Earl called
Mine
it.
was
Earl's
mine
referring
was
to
the
himself in third
absolute
person. He's
best.
officially buzzing.
Sorry,
Because-
I
because
wasn't
do it.
ready for Aaron to say, "Gabe, it's your turn."
because I got the best of that brew, but I'll share it. So
Lesson
No,
you
I
learned.
think that when it comes to beers we bring it to the shop,
Yeah.
you know, we have
Thanks.
such a different customer base than I think a lot of places similar to us have, you know. When it comes to certain styles like IPAs and sours and stuff, I mean, we want to bring in the best of the best every week. We look really hard. We look at ratings.
that's good.
We get a list and we really go through each individual beer that we get offered and see what we think is going to fit well in our shop. Now, for granted, we do have a lot of light beer drinkers in our shop too.
Mhm.
We have people that come in every week for light beer. I have people that come in every single week for big woods or for light lagers. So we have to do differently than maybe some of these, you know, DC brewery or DC bottle shops or Richmond bottle shops they're just focusing on the next big IPA or next big sour every single week. So we have a little bit different customer base, I think. But, you know, we spend a lot of times looking at IPAs and sour specifically. When it comes to our lagers and stuff, we want to bring in new, unique stuff every week. You know, a lot of people are afraid to rate a lager or a Pilsner a 5 on Untapped because it's not a hazy IPA.
I'm
where-
afraid to do that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But what's
So-
the reason behind it? I feel like if it's a lager
So when
and
you
it's
guys
the best
bring
lager
in,
you've had, it
when
should
you
be a
guys
5.
bring in that, was that Nagaset or whatever?
Narragansett.
Narragansett.
Yeah.
Cheap
So-
beer.
Yeah. So I bought a 30 rack of that because you know why? That's great summertime beer,
Right.
right? So like that goes a long way. So like I can value that, right? So I think there's great opportunity, and you guys do a great job of selecting all your beers. Is there? I mean, like I can imagine you guys are just kind of like torn based upon everything that's available and limited by like what your clientele is going to buy. Because I could imagine you guys see
You know,
so many good
Earl's
beers.
right. You know, like we said before, we're in a light beer town, and what a lot of these light beer drinkers have also become craft beer drinkers. So they're not coming in for just the same old thing every day. They're coming in for the next 4-pack of something they haven't tried before.
Right.
But they want a
New
Dortmunder,
experience,
or
essentially.
they want a Italian Pilsner,
Mhm.
or they want, a Kolsch. So they're looking for the next lighter beer
Yeah.
option. So
Yeah.
we got to be picky about what we bring in and make sure we're trying to appease everybody with each order, because we want to have the same for the stout drinkers.
But then you
Fair
guys do a really good job of bringing in different breweries or different wineries or whatever to have, to do your shares, right? So every Friday you can roll in there, and someone's there, right? And they're going to share a different wine or
Free tastings.
a couple of different.
Well, when we
wines,
first
right?
opened up, we really started off like bringing in a new local brewery almost every Friday night.
Yep.
That was great for us. We've kind of realized that we know kind of what our beer drinkers want more so than a lot of the local breweries and stuff that are around the area. That being said, we almost can tell you every person who's coming to our shop on a Friday, which is cool. Not many people
You're
can
going
say
to
that.
get your new faces, but we also have that every Friday night, crew,
Yeah, yeah.
which is awesome.
So we've been trying to focus more on our wine tastings more so than our beer tastings as of late.
Yeah.
Just because we need to try to increase our wine sales. We're passionate about beer, but we can't overlook the fact that we have a lot of people that love wine that come into our shop as well.
And that's the thing, right? So if the clientele supports, wine and beer, like win-win, right?
Absolutely.
Because you like case in point, me and my wife, right? I like to come in, my style of beers that I'm going after. She comes in the shop and goes directly after the corner.
We notice with like our beer tastings, a lot of times people already know what they're coming in for on Friday night. And with their beer tastings, they might grab an extra 4-pack or something like that.
Right.
But we have realized that, okay, a lot of people that are coming in on Friday night, they're going to grab a bottle of wine just because they tasted it, and they weren't even planning on
getting that extra
that bottle of wine.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So we're focusing more on the 2025
when it comes to tastings, for sure.
Multiplier,
and don't get me wrong, we'll still have beer tastings, we'll still have cider tastings,
All right.
but yeah.
Gabe, what you got for the rating?
This one has got a ton of lime, which I'm a fan of. It's very creamy. It's got a
Hit you
lot
back
of.
here.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
yeah. To me, I think it's probably like if I were gonna be down to the point, it'd be like a 4.35 probably.
Okay.
But obviously 4.25 is where I'm at on it. Really good. If you don't like sours, this probably isn't your beer. It's got a lot of lime zest and pop to it. Less graham cracker creaminess that like the key lime pie would have. So it's got more lime than the pie.
Yeah,
I
I
guess.
agree.
So,
I'd say if you like traditional sours,
Yes.
this probably would be more your
exactly.
type. If you like more smoothie, sweet sours, because it's tart.
Yeah, it fits definitely the sour ale profile.
Yeah, it's definitely
it's a little
sour.
It's a little creamier. I don't know if it's got lactose in it or not, but
it does not. It does not seem like it is lactose.
Yeah, it seems pretty light. I'll give
Traditional style, I would not say traditional. I mean, it's sour, but it's
But it gets you in the back of the taste buds.
it's
It's like a traditional sour.
I mean,
does.
yeah.
as soon as
Just
you taste
very
it,
limey.
I'm gonna give
All
it
right.
a 4.25 as well.
Okay.
Or what you got?
I can go to 4.
Okay.
Yeah, with the lack of the whole pie part of the key lime, I'm going to give it a 4. A good, refreshing, sour, tart, limey. 4. Yeah, good.
Okay.
Yeah. So in the words of the great, not so fast, my friend. This is a 4.5, right? So great flavor on the key lime aspect. Like this is over the top.
Yeah.
Right. It's
Taste is
amazing. I got it. It doesn't have the Cool Whip top. Maybe it doesn't have a big graham cracker cuss. Like I got that, but key lime.
You take that to a party,
it's-
people are going to be blown away by the flavor profile
Yeah.
of it.
So 4 or 5 for me.
Okay. Thank you. All right, Earl, you
Hey.
are last but not least. Please share.
I'm changing up a bit.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if a stout's ever been on this show yet, but
Yes, it has.
hasn't? All right,
Earl
I
hasn't
missed
been
it.
watching our show.
I guess he missed episode 3.
I watched the first 2, and I'm catching up. The Bruery. This right here is their Black Tuesday. 19.7% barrel aged
That guy's
imperial
trying to kill
stout.
us.
So I really wanted to have a good time tonight.
Warm me up.
Another barrel age for
Barrel-
me. Huh? Appreciate it.
Barrel
So
aged.
yeah, so this is their 2024 edition, this latest one.
Okay.
So they put it in this small bottles this year. The first time I've seen it in the smaller bottles. Usually they do about the Magnum styles, like the around
So we'll
the.
be hogging all of it this time.
So it's usually like a what is
It's like
it?
the
Usually
mortar
a
shells, right?
75.
Yeah,
It's
easy
usually a
before.
$75 bottle, right? Back in the
Yeah.
day, like when it was a big bottle.
We still have a few of those set aside. Elegant, innovative, complex.
So this bad boy
Motorola.
right here, we've been sitting on it for about 6 months or so.
Yeah, something like that.
Nothing too crazy. We have a couple that have been aging for a few years at the shop, but figured to bring those out next time we come out here and record.
Heck yeah.
Mike and his little pour.
Come on, Mike, you can do better than that.
Oh, you guys already know how I feel about barrel aged.
I'll take his half.
I'll allow those who appreciate them to get
Sorry,
more than
Aaron, I
that.
might have taken.
No, but here's the color on it.
You're good.
Uh,
You're good. You're good.
yeah. So let's try it.
I mean,
So there's cheers,
she
y'all.
dark. Yeah.
Cheers, everybody.
The aroma
Cheers.
on it is just nuts.
Mm. Oh yeah. Okay. First impressions. Okay.
And that's
All right.
something, go ahead, Aaron.
No. Let it simmer. Let it get in there.
Burn in.
Let it burn in. Last episode, it took us like 5 minutes to discuss the whole thing about
complex
the barrel
flavors,
aged
really.
stuff,
Yeah.
because it takes a while, right? But okay, here is the last question. All right. What does the future hold for Earlybirds? Where do you see yourselves in 5 years?
Man.
Always got to have a 5-year plan, right?
Yeah. So we're still in our first 5-year plan. However, what we knew going into this is that, we're 3.5 years in right now. We knew we eventually wanted to go to not just to-go beer.
Yep.
On-site consumption. Of course, we have the license to where we can do the free samples, but it's very limited. So we're in a big change right now. We're renovating what was our small office and making it a small kitchen. So we'll have some small bites, some sandwiches, some hot dogs, and some pretzels and things like that. And we'll be adding some seating in the shop and moving things around a little bit. So
Nice.
everybody's saying, when can we drink here? When can we drink here? So right now we're appeasing the masses.
Yeah.
And we know it's going to be a complete game changer for us. And that's kind of what's on the horizon right now. And
We wanted to start small and kind of grow into it. I mean, when we first opened up, we didn't have a growler station in there at all.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just 4-packs to go, pretty much, and wine to go.
Yeah.
After about a year in, we added the growler station in there. We added the growler station in there. Then about a year after that, we started doing crowler fills because we got a canning machine.
baby steps.
Baby steps is the way to go. We want to make sure we have the clientele to do so.
The foot traffic and the continued support and all that. And
Yeah.
We never want to go away from our our offsite thing because that kind of what's built us to where we're at.
we'll still have plenty of
So
that.
we're planning on having a retail area, and then we're planning on having a lounge area where we can actually
Crack some cans.
crack some cans and do
Heck
your
yeah.
thing as well.
Yeah.
We don't want to.
So do you guys think you have like pours on site? So I got it. Like we're all super interested. Like to have a Sammy and some chips and to crack a few beers. Glizzies, right?
Absolutely.
Pretzels, right? Pretzels go a long way.
Can't call it a glizzy though.
Are we gonna get to the point? Are we gonna get to the point where we can go there and get pours?
That's our goal.
Okay.
That's our goal. We're hoping by September 1st. Realistically, I'm hoping a little bit sooner. Really, we have about, like I said, a few days worth of work really to get in there. But all the licensing and the state and the city requirements and ABC requirements and then health department requirements. It's a lot of
red tape.
There's a lot of paperwork,
Yeah.
and the paperwork is all about, hey, we want to make sure you're serious about doing this, and which we are. So we just make sure we go through those proper steps. But that's our next goal, and then after that, I think opportunities are endless. I think it's going to be a game changer for us.
Mhm.
I think that
We're
And then-
picky.
And then when's the 4th year anniversary coming up?
So that's
September.
going to be September as well. So we
Okay.
kind of want to kind of have it lined up with almost the way we're changing things, and the fact you'll be able to crack beers on site. We know we
Hoping
get the
maybe-
temporary license for that particular day, but we
Right.
want it to
We're
be a
hoping
permanent thing.
we're hoping to be
Right.
able to do a soft opening a little bit before, and then really launch it like as on our anniversary date.
Earlybirds 2.0, if you will.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, like now you can crack cans on site.
Love it.
Our first few fridge doors are probably going to go to singles only. We will have the 8 draft beers to fill off as well. We plan on doing a mug club, all sorts of fun stuff.
Oh,
So you guys are going to change the name to like Earlybird's Bottle and Sammy Shop, maybe?
No. We actually plan on
Lizzie works.
doing a separate.
We have a couple ideas with this.
We plan on doing we plan on doing a separate entity that's working inside of Earlybird's Bottle Shop.
I see. Yeah.
Oh,
so
these
that
are
way-
secrets.
like a
All right,
like a
okay.
DBA, like under a different name.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that
yeah.
way, if our sandwiches suck, people aren't really shitting on Earlybirds.
They're not roasting us on
Yeah,
Google; they're
yeah,
roasting
yeah.
our sandwich shop.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Hey, we have a 4.9 review on Google. Go check it out.
So-
110 reviews or more.
So that way, let's be real. So that way, Courtney doesn't get blamed, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
We don't want her taking any of the fall.
No, we have a lot of fun plans, man. We've been
Yeah.
wanting to do this for a long time.
We knew we wanted to grow into this. We just wanted to take baby steps. Yeah.
Well, I think it's smart.
Makes
I mean,
sense.
I think any good entrepreneur or business person, like, if you jump into something head first, you're probably going to crack your skull
Well, you
eventually,
always wanna-
right?
yeah,
So you want to kind of
yeah.
test the waters, make sure that what you got, you don't want
As
to.
entrepreneurship,
Yeah.
you got to have the next thing all the time.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
You always got to have the hype, So it's just like,
We feel like we could just keep doing what we're doing, but we also don't want to be stagnant. Like, who would not want a place where you can hang out and people start drinking these cans on site and they're like, "Wow, this is a good beer. I
Right.
want to drink
Yeah.
another
And
one."
you-
Or what else do you have to recommend? Or can I get a 4-pack to go? Absolutely.
And
Yes, and yes.
And you're kind of coming into the right season, right? So as we kind of turn the corner and we start looking at spring and summer, right? If you talk about doing your soft release and all that kind of good stuff, right? It kind of makes sense because there's been several times that we've rolled in there and been like, "Oh man, I really want to try this beer." Like if I could just loiter a little bit longer by having a beer, right? Like it'd be great.
Yeah,
no, for
Let,
sure.
let me have a beer. Let me take a couple for the road.
It's happening, my
And
friend.
then,
I think that's the key. I think
it's wonderful.
And then
Yeah.
think about all the people that just came in just to get a beer that are going to be leaving with beers to go too. I mean,
Right.
Sure.
That's our goal. There's always a business aspect.
when I
behind
go
it
to
as
a
well,
place like that,
So
I'm
I
going
know
to
how
have a few
I
beers.
am.
And
Yeah.
the growler station has like 8 beers on there at all times,
Right.
right? So there's nothing that says you can't come in there and get a pour, check something out. Oh man, I really like this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Right? Big Woods is always on tap,
Yeah.
right?
Always.
Always.
Right? But then you can also grab something.
And I think
else.
you guys do a really good job of keeping a good variety on the growler station. You're always
100%.
giving out samples
Yeah.
for folks, and
Yeah.
you might not have tried a hazy IPA before or a stout or whatever.
Well,
you
but
give
there's not a
somebody
lot of-
some taste.
That you
Normally,
mentioned
not
that.
a lot of hazies on that growler list, right? So there's always IPA
Well,
on there.
we always
but
have about 2 to 3 IPAs at least.
Yeah.
Right, but what I'm saying is you can give them a taste. They might not be sure of it, but you can give like, hey, this one, and they taste it. Oh, it's good, sweet,
Right.
and then go
I
to the
can't tell you
cooler
100%,
and just.
man, because I couldn't tell you how many people come in. They're like, I've never really liked IPAs, and I'm like, when's the last time you had one? It's been a few years. I'm like, let me pull you
Let's
another
try
half
some.
off.
Yeah,
Cicero.
right.
We're not talking
Not
about
everybody
Pine
likes
Sol anymore.
IPAs. Earl likes.
Let me give you this.
Most people don't.
He's referring to himself in third person. So once, like, you give
But
someone a
that's because
taste
he's
of an
right.
IPA that they haven't had,
Yeah.
they last time they tried an IPA, Westies were probably really popular.
Right.
I get it. That's not everybody's
Yeah,
forte.
for sure.
So
Yeah.
you give them a 100% Citra
Juice
IPA,
bomb. Yeah.
8% juicy guy. People change their minds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they're
Well,
like,
it's
what
just
else do
like
you
ours.
have like
Yeah.
that? What else
That's
do you
always
have
my
like that?
sweet spot. That 8%.
So the whole free
sweet
tasting
spot.
thing is a big deal for us.
Yeah, and I mean,
in that aspect.
like I talk about it. I've talked about it several times on the show, right? When you get your adult taste buds, or when you
Right,
like to
absolutely.
learn how to drink like an adult, right?
We're still getting there.
You might not like. Yeah, I mean, like stouts, for instance. Like you got to develop that palate, whether it's IPA, stouts, whatever.
I made a commitment this year too to really start drinking more stouts, and I did.
yeah, we did
Um,
a lot. This
Shame on
winter.
No, I mean it's
I
just
have-
such a
I
great.
have too. Yeah.
Don't change who you are.
Wintertime. I mean, this is the best time to drink them,
It's
right?
snow on the
'Cause
ground
it's-
outside. I should
yeah.
be enjoying it.
So we're
Warms you up.
usually seasonal stout drinkers, but there's people out there that want stouts year round.
Yeah.
And they'll come in and give us a hard time, be like, man, your stouts are lacking. I'm like, I promise it's not because of us. Like, they get harder to find in the craft beer season
So that's the thing.
because, we
Like-
get
like
the
if
year,
they come in-
we get the year rounders, but we're not getting the ones that are brewed just
Yeah.
seasonally only.
If people are coming in
I
complaining
promise
about
we're trying to find
stouts
them.
from like April to September, right? Maybe you're not in tune with how beer's brewed.
Yeah, but I mean,
Right.
if you like what you like, right? So,
Sure,
like,
yeah.
I mean, there's
Yeah.
people that like them, but I mean, I think across the game, across the entire craft brew game, like your best stouts are coming
Well, here's
out
another thing.
in the fall and the
Here's
winter.
another thing: stout drinkers are some of our best customers in our shop.
For sure.
You go to a food line right now. What stouts can you find?
Guinness.
Guinness.
That's it.
Wow.
That's
I mean,
it.
honestly, I looked.
Yeah,
Every time I go, I
No,
look.
for sure.
Yeah, or even you can go to
They used to have Blue Mountain.
go to Total
Dark
Wine.
Hollow,
Dark
we carry-
Hollow.
We carry that now.
but you can't even find that unless you get a Total Wine.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
Total Wine, like all that stuff is all going to be corporate,
Yeah.
mass produced type stuff. So
Yeah.
but that's the natural flow of beers, right?
For
So,
sure.
and that's
but your average grocery store ain't bringing in good stouts.
I agree.
Uh-oh.
Whoa,
Yeah, hit the bell for the first time.
We hit the ring.
We did have to. We're coming
cut it
to
out.
time. Yeah.
Okay.
So, what would you rate it, Earl? Take your last sip. Give us a rating.
4 or 5 all the way.
Boom. Love it.
Yeah, great beer. Sought after for a reason. A lot of flavors going on. Robust, coffee, nutty.
Raisiny.
Raisiny. That's
Yeah.
the,
A lot of
that
raisins.
was, man, you stole my word, dude. I was
Yeah.
all excited. I was like, I'm
Probably
going
going
to
to
say
say
raisin
4. I'll
for the
probably
first
give it a
time.
4.5 as well. 4
Okay.
5. Yeah, it's
4 or
great.
5. Here comes Mike.
Not for me.
Not for you.
So
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the barrel aged, and that's
Good.
fine. So, but at the same time, I wouldn't nuke a rating. So for me, I would give it a 4. But I would probably not choose to drink that one again.
Okay.
Yeah, so this one to me is a 4.5 just for the simple fact 19%. You said 19.2, right? Is that what you said?
19 point something.
nuts.
Yeah, so 19.2.
Yeah.
There is a lot of molasses, raisiny flavors in this
Sticky.
one. It's sticky icky.
Mhm.
Literally, if like tobacco-y too.
Oh, yeah,
for sure.
Like
Mhm.
Levi Garrett put a chaw in, and yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Bam.
right here.
We're looking at
Um,
the troll right now.
But I think 4.25 is a good one because I mean, you could get riggedy wrecked
In a heartbeat.
In a heartbeat
No
on
doubt.
this
Oh, yeah.
thing. I feel like I'm warmed right now.
Oh, yeah.
So, but yeah, 4.5 for me.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna say 4 or 5 as well.
An Insta warmer.
I
Oh, yeah.
I do like
Instapot.
bourbon. I love like a good tang. So it's burning. It's good. Like the flavors are there. I'm gonna give it a 4 or 5 as well. So,
Nice.
Nothing
but-
but bangers at night.
dude, it was
That's all we
great.
bring.
Yeah.
Life's too
What a-
short.
what a session.
Drink
So
shitty
to
beer.
have a 5 beer share, like this is off the charts. Like I'm super happy that we were able to and even though I think Lamb and the Jam was kind of like maybe undervalued by some,
Mhm.
right, Earl?
I gave it a
But-
4.
But at the same time, I undervalued the barrel age, right? That's based on preference.
Mhm. Yeah,
for sure.
But,
Yeah,
but-
yeah.
but at the
Everybody
same
has,
time,
you know.
yeah. But at the same time, you look at all the beers on
gonna
the
happen.
table tonight.
It's gonna
like,
happen.
This was
You got different people,
Yeah.
different taste buds, different
another
like,
another great
different
lineup.
preferences.
So
it's gonna happen. So, all right, here is another look at the banger board, updated for this show as well. All right, do not forget to follow us on Instagram, follow us on Untapped. We're there posting stuff all the time. Please hang out with us. Leave comments. Tell us if you like this episode. It's completely different from our other episodes, so it's the first time we've had special guests on. Again, cheers, boys. Appreciate you guys
Cheers.
coming on the
Thanks
show.
for having
Hey,
us.
before
Really.
we leave,
Early birds.
Before we
Go see
leave,
'em.
I got a question for y'all. When we go out in public, can we be the 5Borrachos?
Yeah,
Done.
allowed.
we're willing to baracho up with a lot
Yes.
of people.
That's all I
Done.
wanted.
All right. Hey, and of course, remember, life's too
Too
short
short
to drink
Drink
bad beer.
shitty beer.
All right.
Have a good one.
Cheers.
Adios.
Hey, y'all.